So here is the finally arrived Prusa Mk2, the 3D printer that I had ordered. It was ordered pre-built, and I'm going to go and open up this right now. I'm going to first take off the filaments. Looks like the extra filaments that I had ordered are already just taped to the outside. This was, again, this was supposed to be sent pre-assembled, so we're going to take a look and see how it works, and we'll get it all set up and do a test print. The package arrived with a whole bunch of plastic all over it with stickers that said "Do not get wet" and "fragile," which is good. So I've taken that off. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we'll see what it looks like inside. Alrighty, so I've opened up the top of the box. There's the filaments. We have my invoice, which, let's see, we've got, looks like it's got this nice hard foam. Pull this off. There it is. Pre-assembled. We're going to pull this out. Looks all nicely set up. We're going to pull this out, see what we're going to see, and look forward to doing some 3D printing. This is a nice looking machine, and doesn't look like there's any obvious damage. Nothing really out of the place. It's all looking good so far, so we'll be back. Alrighty, so here it is out of the box. It all looks good. I took a look around it. First of all, it's nice and sturdy. This is a nice strong piece of metal. It's got what looks like test materials. It's or just a checklist there. Seems to be nicely set up. All the wiring conveniently set up. I'm going to go take a look at all the different elements. I'm a little concerned about this. It's kind of hugging this piece of plastic. I'm not sure, how much this spins and how much that will, what that means, if that's going to grind that away or anything like that. But, this looks like it's nice, clean unit, nicely set up. It's a good looking unit. I can't wait to go and give it a shot. It had a little extra box here on the side with some other pieces, which we're going to go take a look at. Obviously, the power cord. This looks like, I'm not really sure what that is. I'm learning. The manual, 3D printing. So this is my first 3D printer, if you haven't figured that out already. So there looks like there's other materials, probably for some lubricating and whatnot. I haven't set up the table yet. I just wanted to take it out and take a look at it. But I'm going to get a table that's just a little bit bigger than the footprint of the printer itself. Give it a little leeway, but I'm looking for a very sturdy printer, something that not going to vibrate, something that's just solid, and isn't going to shake like like one of those self-built tables or desks that you can get. Certainly not a folding table or anything, but this is a very clean machine, and it looks really well done. And we're going to go ahead and set this up and get ourselves a test print. Again, this was pre-built, so I didn't have to do anything. And we got this little thing here. Let's take a look at what this is. Okay. Again, I think what I'm looking at here is it's a checklist for what needs to be included. It's probably a checklist for stuff when they built it, make sure that everything was there and everything was taken care of. And then it looks like it's a test hot end heating graph, heat bed heating graph. So they do some tests and they provide you with the tests. And they show you all the different, this is a test. This is a test to make sure everything was functioning properly after they built it. So hopefully this, I think it was right here, this little piece there, looks like it's kind of hugging that. I may be just, being a little anal about that. I don't think, because that one looks nice and clean and free, but that might just be a nitpick. We'll have to see. You'll have to watch it when it's actually printing. But so far, so good. I mean, this is you know, this is a good looking machine, and you know, the next thing I tape will be just an idea of when I've actually set it up on the actual table and have the workstation set up, what it actually is doing and how it does the magic that it does. So looking forward to it, and tune in. Have a great day. Okay, so it looks like there is some kind of a complication. This is the belt that's underneath, and it looks like it's come off. It's definitely got, it looks like this is supposed to run through this. This is the gear for this belt. It might have snapped. It looks like this might be broken. I don't know if there's a way to connect it to this piece, but this is the thing that guides this platform to go up and down. So I'm going to have to go look at that, see if maybe this is able to be attached or if it needs to be replaced. So we'll get back to you. So far, well, at least one complication. I'm going to guess, just by the way it looks, that it's probably broken. All right. Okay, welcome back. MC1 Gamer here. This is the finished product. So the last time that I did an unboxing basically, and had a little problem with the belt underneath. And while it was a little bit cumbersome, you know, getting a new one, and you know, because the one that they sent was just too short. Worked with chat. They wanted some pictures just to see what was what, and make sure that, you know, I was legitimate, that I wasn't just trying to get a free belt and they have to spend money to ship it all the way from, I think it's Eastern Europe. I don't know where this is built. In any case, you know, this came pre-built. It looks good. I put the supports up and already put the spool for the PLA into it. There's a learning curve on this. Just so you know, they sent me the new belt. This is all set up and ready to go. I'm going to start cranking out some printing very soon. It has a nice LCD screen. I did the immediate tests, which you have to go through, and I would advise you, if you're looking to get one of these, to go and check out the videos, especially at Prusa with Josef Prusa. He goes through a bunch of stuff, but there's other people that do this as well, and they will they'll give you quite a bit of information on, you know, on what you need to do, what the steps are. But before you do anything, I would highly recommend you read the book. It's not that big. It's pretty simple. It's got lots of diagrams, but it can be challenging, the steps. If you've never done this before, you kind of could use a little hand-holding, and I did, at least, because I've never been involved in 3D printing. I watched a bunch of videos to gear up for this, but it's different when you're actually doing it. So one thing I would suggest is read the book. What happens is you go through the process after, you know, if this is pre-built, mine's pre-built, most of this has been done. They've tested everything. So essentially what you're doing is you have to, just because things shift in shipping, you have to go and do some XYZ calibrating, and it's all in the actual LCD screen. You know, you can go through the menu and actually do it, and then you do this thing called a V2 calibration, which is a way to print out a test pattern. It's kind of like a zigzaggy pattern like that, and what happens is it prints out a very small amount of PLA, and you then adjust it with this Live Z. You go to the LCD screen and you go through the menu, so you get this thing called Live Z that actually only comes up when you're actually in the middle of a print. So this is a test print. It's not very long print. It doesn't use a lot of PLA, and it's very small. And you have to test the height of this nozzle, this kind of extruder, to the bed. It cannot touch the bed, and it has to be very close to the bed. And then what you do is you do some other things like bed leveling, which can level it, you know, right and left or front and back. And that's really important too. So I went through a whole bunch of that. And ironically, I didn't have to, because everything was mostly taken care of and my test print was great. But then I got some advice that I had to go do a, you know, upgrade the firmware, which I suggest you do, to the new version firmware. And that reset everything that was sent by the manufacturer, who had the latest stuff installed already, and everything was all bed leveled, and you know, it was all perfect. And then I went and I updated the firmware, and when it flashed the drive for the firmware, and you have to connect to your computer, and you have to go and download a piece of software that updates from the site the latest firmware, it resets everything. I didn't need to do it. So I went through about a day of going through all the steps with the chat at the site, finally figuring out how to do it with a lot of test prints and a little bit of frustration that I didn't probably have to do. I mean, if you're doing it from scratch, you're going to go through this process anyway. I didn't have to go through most of that, which is unfortunate. But what I didn't know is that V2 calibration isn't like some auto-correct. It's a continuous effort. You run it, you correct, you run it again, you correct. If there's pieces that have pulled up, then you get an idea that maybe that portion of the bed maybe needs to be raised, or you're not close enough to the bed itself. There's a lot of trial and error. This is a tinker hobby. You're really, you know, you're kind of playing with it. So it's not just a, you know, point and shoot. You're not loading up a file and just printing all the time. You're playing with this stuff. I had my last, you know, my original print, my test print, which was a Batman logo, which was it took me 3 or 4 times to do it. It wasn't sticking to the bed, and one of the reasons was the nozzle was just too high, and I had to get it close enough, but not too close where it touched the bed, because then it could damage the bed. So, you know, this is something to keep in mind if you're a newbie to the hobby. I would highly recommend that if you're interested in 3D printing, that you do your homework. Once you get these concepts, and once you understand what you're getting into, you know, it's a different. It's really cool. And I've already seen only just, you know, a small print. I'm going to try and tackle now a big print. I think I've got this dialed in. You know, the chat guys have been pretty cool. They continuously tell you to refer back to the manual, which they're right, but they're pretty helpful. And then, of course, I went on to some websites. You know, there's a 3D printing website. I'll actually put the link down below, as well as there's actually a Prusa Mark II i3 Mark II Prusa website with several people who've been very helpful helping me to get this going. So there's a really good support community from the people at the manufacturer at Prusa with their chat help to people in the community who have helped me substantially to try and get me going. You know, like anything else, there's going to be people that are a little bit more, have a little better temperament than others. Some people are very interested in helping with details, and some people are a little curt and just say, go to the manual, read the manual. Either way, if you're new to this, there is definitely a support structure to help you, so you shouldn't be too intimidated. But I'm looking forward to kicking out some cool terrain, some cool models. I'm going to kick out a couple of things that my son and my wife are looking for just as a test because they're small. Then I'm going to go start attacking the printable scenery array of files that I got involved with that Kickstarter. And we'll see how that turns out. So the next installment will be coming soon after I actually do a big print. I'm sure I'll have some tests that I'll have to go through before it's actually finished. And I've got, you know, several backup rolls of PLA that I can go through. I've got 2 total rolls of black and 2 total rolls of gray, and I'm sure I'll be getting more. And I'm learning, so, you know, we'll see. So far, I think I've gotten this close to dialed in. We'll play with it a little bit, and when I get some results, I'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, so MC1 Gamer back here. This is after a good 14-hour print. So you can see on the LCD here, running about 96% complete. Had a little bit of a hiccup, but it still looks great. This little center column that's supposed to sit right there fell away. Probably just got pushed. I'm surprised, but I don't know if it was designed that way, but it seemed to kind of been done at a perfect angle. It's actually, I kind of sized it up. I could just slip it in there if I want. Might need just maybe a minor amount of green stuff or something, but I might actually leave it away there. It actually looks pretty good. Nice big opening there, which would work really well. But this is the arch from the printable scenery Kickstarter, and after 14 hours, this Prusa i3 Mark II is just kicking it. It took a little while to get it dialed in. Had a little bit of help from the online chat, and I mean, it's really cranking it out. I'll remove all that little stringy stuff in the middle, and it'll look perfect. This is just about complete. Probably another half an hour, maybe 40 minutes at most. Probably maybe even less. But you can see how it's working there. I just wanted to get the different stages. You can see that it's really just kind of getting the last bit. But look at great detail on these models. This Kickstarter was phenomenal, and this printer is, you know, look, I had a little bit of a problem getting it going early on, but once you get it set, it's a nice printer. It's a really nice printer, and I'm looking forward to some other stuff from this Kickstarter that I'm going to start cranking out, and hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Alright, here's the next stage. Before I go move on and show you what the next thing is that I'm doing, I wanted to give an update on what we've got here. This is this dragon arch. This piece you saw in the previous video, for some reason it kind of fell over and had a little bit of fraying down here at the bottom. You know, it's just about a layer or two that's missing, and it would be, you know, it'd look pretty cool. This is the ruined one. I have another one that I'm going to print out that's not ruined. And what I think I'll do is I'll leave that arch in there, that center column support in there. And for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this piece up, and look like it just came like everything else that fell apart on this thing, all the rubble that you see here. And I'm going to make a little base that this is going to sit upon, and this will be like a couple of pieces of rubble. You know, just pop that up, maybe, you know, just look like it's chipped and broken in a couple places, and put it over here, like maybe it was moved out of the way so people can move through, and leave this as it is. This will be the ruined one. I'm going to make a sister to this one, which will be, you know, complete, not broken, not falling apart, because there is another file for this. Because I kind of like that, you know, it looks a little bit like it fell apart over time, and it already has. It has pieces that have fallen apart. But look at the detail on this. This wasn't even done at the most highest level detail. And I probably even put it in too much with the infill, which is the amount of lattice work, I guess, inside the interior to make it sturdy. But this is sturdy. This is really solid. This is a good piece. You'd have to take a lot of effort to break this. This one took about 15 hours to make, and the normal file is smaller than this, and doesn't have as much infill, and takes maybe about 6 hours, 5 hours to print. This one took a little more, because I made it 50% bigger, because I wanted it to be, you know, a little more prominent on the tabletop, a little bit more obvious, you know, a little more appropriate to scale. And I don't know if I have, yeah, I have a figure here, so you can see the scale of what this is here, which is pretty cool. Not bad, all right? And it's one of the reasons why I also want to, I don't think I need to have this, even though this fell off, it'll give it some character. But the scale, this is up 50% up higher. So this one was a success. It came out with very little stuff that I have to clean off here. You could just see, if you look really close, let's see if I can get in here, maybe you could see some of the lines for the layering. But once I slap some paint on this, and then do some texture, you know, dry brushing and stuff, you're not going to notice that at all. And it's going to be a nice piece. I'm going to have it on a small base for a little more support, but just so I can put a little more rubble, clear, maybe like as if this is a road, put a little more green flocking off to the side, and then just make this look like a weathered, you know, marble or stone piece. With some various different colors, and this will be a really nice piece to put on any tabletop war game. Again, this is from Printable Scenery, from their Apocalypse Kickstarter that you can get. I think this is the Dragon Arch, I think it is. But the next thing I'm printing, which you can see here, I've also upgraded this. It's hard to tell because it's only on its initial platform, but this is going to be what's a Demon Dais. So it's going to have, you know, some columns and a dome that's been half collapsed in. This is about 3, 4, 5 hours in, just doing the base. Probably did a little bit too much on the infill for the support structure. You can see how it's working, and the columns will make it go really quickly. So I'm assuming this is going to be done sometime tonight, which is great. And then I'll probably do another one of the dragon arches to match the one I have, and I'll start moving off to things like a merchant house, a blacksmithy. I'm just going to get a whole bunch of these things. Stables. There's World War II ones and sci-fi ones I'm going to print out from this great Kickstarter. Incredible value. And I'm really looking forward to, really cranking this stuff out. But again, I'm going to put down in the link below. This is obviously from Prusa. This is the original Prusa from Josef Prusa. This is the Prusa i3 Mark II. It was pre-built. I had to do a little calibrating because I was silly enough to go and try and update the firmware on my own when everything was already taken care of. If you get one as a kit, it's probably going to take you the better part of a day to build, which, you know, I recommend. It's a lot more expensive to get one that's pre-built, but I hear that it's worth it to go and get a kit because you learn how to build this stuff. But I wanted to get going really quickly. I'll learn the ins and outs along the way. I just wanted to get going. But there's a lot of little stuff to pick up and learn, and I'm certainly happy to answer questions. But if you have questions, there's two Facebook forums that I've been talking about. It's specifically if you get this Prusa, the one that is attached to Josef Prusa's. The makers, the creators who have this particular setup, and then there's one that's just about 3D printing. So I'll link them both below. People there have been very helpful. Certainly people who have experience with this particular printer, and then people in the other one who have general experience on different printers, but 3D printing in general. So definitely some stuff that you'll be seeing in future battle reports, in future other games that I'm going to be highlighting and showcasing, and I will be talking a lot more about 3D printing, but I'm going to be banging out a bunch of this stuff because I'm going to be looking to fill up some numerous tables at future events. Events that either I'll be organizing or I'll be assisting with, or just bringing it with me to games that I'll be playing with locals and the like. So, have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.